What is a woman? That's the age-old question, isn't it? Ever since Matt Walsh put out that fantastic film, that question has just been making the rounds, and yet no one can really answer it. I mean, there's people who make an attempt to answer it, but they're not really answering it. As we can see in this video, where I get steamrolled by like 20 people who will not let me get my point across. But thank God I had backup from, once again, our favorite homie, Little John Steele. And he was able to put some tough questions on them. But we got steamrolled, we got cut off, we got muted. The question is, did we actually get our point across? It's hard to say. Why don't you guys be the judge? Let's get into it.
So Big John, can I quickly get your age and pronouns?
34, he, him. And before I say anything,
Okay,
I just want to be transparent with you guys. I'm also recording on my own channel. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't
Okay.
mind as long as no slurs or I don't know what kind of people you have on your channel, but no crazy people coming in and yeah. I guess you can't control that, but if anybody's listening, don't come in my panel acting crazy. Brought by blood. I'm gonna call you brought because I don't even know if we can say that word on TikTok. I have no idea. TOS is crazy.
You can just call me
Yeah,
John.
brought. John?
Yeah, John. That's fine.
Do you mind if I call you brought since we have another Big John on the panel?
We call him Little John. So he's Little John, I'm Big John.
I'll just call you
Big
Brought.
John's actually a friend of mine, so.
Do you mind if I just call you Brought because there is a John on the panel already?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, just, confusion, I apologize, but can I just quickly get your age and pronouns?
Yeah, 32, he, him.
Okay, someone is echoing, so whoever's not speaking, I would just ask to mute. It might be Big John because he's streaming, but if you're not speaking, I would just ask you to mute for the echo. We're gonna start with you, Big John. Would you rather talk about the first or the second thing on my prompt?
Yeah, so the second thing, trans women are women. Can you elaborate on what exactly that means?
So I believe that, well, not even what I believe, this is a definition. A woman is a blanket term, and underneath the term woman is cisgender and transgender. Kind of just imagine like a little family tree. On the top is woman, and then spewing out from that is cis and trans.
Okay, so then I have to ask the age-old question, what is a woman?
A woman is someone who identifies as a woman, and it's a circular. I understand that it's a circular definition, but that's what the dictionary says. That is the definition of a woman, and I cannot give you a non-circular definition.
Okay.
Because that's just simply I can't.
Okay. So let's imagine a hypothetical. Let's say aliens come down to the planet. They're scientists. They are doing experiments on humanity. How would they differentiate between a male and a woman? Or sorry, not a male, a man and a woman.
So science, are you talking about biological specs?
No, just in general, right? Like if we're going to say trans women are women, how would we differentiate?
Well, if we're talking on female or male, first of all, if aliens came down to the planet, it's scientifically proven through brain scans that in the hypothalamus you are born transgender. I am a very masculine female. I've always had problems with my femininity. I could never become trans because I was not born that way. So aliens, let's just assume they have the technology, right? They would be able to tell because it's a biochemical process in your brain. It's not just a feeling and it's not just a want.
Okay. So biochemical, right? That's an aspect of like neuroplasticity, right? It's based off like environment, what you do, how you think, how you feel is going to alter the outcomes of your brain. So for example, if we examine brains of like serial unalivers, of criminals, we're going to find similarities and patterns. Would you say that those people are just born that way?
It would no, I don't think that they're born that way. I would think serial unalivers, while I can't say this is for everyone, but I have TikTok. I've seen plenty of people who are serial unalivers give their testimonies on. I've seen videos of therapists talking to them or therapists coming out and talking to serial unalivers, and most of them have some extreme form of childhood trauma, most of which are in a likeness to each other. So like most of them go through similar forms of extreme childhood trauma, and it has been proven that your brain isn't fully developed until the age of 25, and having extreme childhood trauma can actually alter your brain development as a child and a teenager.
Sure, but that's not the case always, right?
They weren't born that way. I would say that their brain has been altered to think that way because of societal different things in society, different things in the home, different things in school, this that, like I don't think anyone's born evil. I think that their brain chemistry becomes altered when they're growing up by different certain things coming in and changing these brain chemistry
Right. So
patterns.
that's not always the case. It doesn't always start like at a young age. Like criminals, for example, you can come into criminality as you're older. As you start to associate with these people, the neuroplasticity starts to change in your brain, and you'll see similarities between their brain waves. If we're going to use like the mechanism that you provide, if aliens came down and they're just simply looking at like brain mechanics to determine, who somebody is, you'd have to say that either A, criminals are all born criminals, or B, people who have this like trans or identification in their brain to being like trans male or trans woman is just something that develops over time based off like association.
It actually develops in utero, so it develops in your hypothalamus in the third trimester when the person is pregnant with
Can
the
you
fetus.
can you expand on that a
So-
little bit more? Can you show me like
So when
where
your
you get the data from?
when your brain is developing, and your hypothalamus starts to develop, your
Uh-huh.
gender, which may or may not align with the sex you were born with at birth. Also, Mr. Sage, I do see your hand. I will call on you 1 second. Your hypothalamus starts developing in second or third trimester, which then in your hypothalamus your gender develops. Mr. Sage, you
So-
have a hand up. You can speak. And I do know
Just-
Sludge wants to speak.
Just a
give
quick
me-
thing on the hypothalamus
Hold on,
before
wait.
before you go, if
Mr.
that's okay.
Sage did have a hand up though, and I do
Just
like to
give
have
me
everybody
2
on my
seconds.
panel
I'm
be able to
trying
speak.
to. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to get into my link tree, so just give me 2 seconds.
But can I just
Okay,
answer a
Sludge,
question
I
about the
did notice-
hypothalamus, and then I'll hear Sage out, just because that's like an open-ended address that is just going to be left in the ether.
That's what I'm trying to do, is get you the source. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Not only is there 2 genders, but there are 2 options over on my Patreon for you guys to sign up to. First option, you can get access to our Squires package, which will get you full access to these raids we've been doing weekly if you've ever missed them, as well as the hangout sessions. But if you want to take a step up, you can go for our Knights Templar package, which will get you access to our daily Bible study, where we're currently going through the Gospel of John line by line, as well as everything else that is offered in the Squires package. Or you could just sign up because you want to support the channel. I don't know, whatever's good for you is good for me. But without further ado, let's see if this age-old question gets answered. Let's get back to the video.
Sludge, did you want to say something? I did see that you unmuted.
Yeah, I was going to address the hypothetical that was brought up.
Okay, but can I just address the hypothalamus thing, and then I promise you guys I will listen to you, if that's fair? Because I just feel like it was just put into the ether. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that everybody on my panel gets a chance to speak.
Sure.
Go ahead and address the hypothalamus thing,
so-
and then after, Sludge is going to speak.
So just a quick search from the hypothalamus. It says it has 0 factors in determining gender, but it does have a crucial role in sexual dysmorphia. So it seemed that just, again, on the surface level, and I'm open to being corrected, that this would show not one's whether they are a man or a woman. So for example, a woman's not going to have a similar hypothalamus as an actual biological woman, but instead this shows just a correlation between gender dysmorphia.
A biological female. Can we please use female and male?
Sure.
when we're speaking of
So
biological
yeah, so a
sex?
woman
Also,
to a
you do
biological
have to
female.
you do have to say smex or smexual because of
Sure.
TikTok.
I got
Yeah,
that
fair.
now.
Go ahead,
If
Sage.
you go, I have a PMID number 322-04531. Brain sex difference related to gender identity, development, genes, and hormones.
Sorry, can I get that number again?
322-04531.
322-04531.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. What am I looking for here?
It says the process of sexual differentiation refers to development of differences between males and females, which are widely observed in nature. Also concerns one of the most sexually dimorphic human traits is gender identity, defined by the inner sense of self as a female or male or an alternative gender. Difference of males and females, one a cisgender individuals or gender identity develops in alignment with the assigned gender at birth and sex, and stable throughout life. On the other hand, transgender individuals may persistently and transiently identify with a different gender, but different than the one assigned at birth, according to Diagnostics and Statistic Manual. Version gender dysphoria happens when you have the incongruence between the experienced or expressed gender assigned once leads clinical, scientific, psychological distress. That goes about gender dysphoria. Considering the complex frame is also clinically, large attention has been dictated understanding the origin of can't even talk.
It's okay. I'm understanding.
It's okay. We all get like
Yeah,
that sometimes, Mr. Sage.
I'm trying to get to the part where.
But just from what I'm hearing, it sounds like this would be an identifying marker for somebody who has gender dysmorphia. This wouldn't be an identifying marker for a woman.
Big John.
Well, in order. What, Brenna?
Mr. Sage is trying to tell you that that's not what it is.
Yeah.
That transgender is separate from gender dysphoria. A trans person can have gender dysphoria, but gender dysphoria is not required for being trans.
That's not what the PubMed article that Mr. Sage sent me disagrees with that. It's specifically saying that this is sexual dysmorphia and gender identity.
Hold on.
Regarding gray matter, the main sexual divergent areas associated with development of gender identity are represented by a central subdivision of the bed nucleus of the stratus terminalis, BNST, and the third initial nucleus of the anterior hypothalamus. Post-mortem studies reported that the BNST is smaller with a low I cannot say that, neurons in the cis women and trans women compare to cis men, saying that the BNST area of the hypothalamus is similar between cis women and trans women, and also similar between cis men and trans men. Regarding the INAH, which involves the sexual and material behaviors and the secretion of gynotropistin, I can't pronounce that word either. One study reported that the area is smaller in trans women than in cis men and is less neurons. However, the role of BNST is determined the sexual differentiation remains unclear of why the sample size are smaller and become a part of subject and role, meaning they don't know what causes it, but it's there.
Yeah.
Additionally, a majority of individuals with gender dysphoria, not all transgender individuals have gender dysphoria, but individuals with gender dysphoria report cross-gender identity since childhood, while sex differentiation in the BNST does not appear before puberty. Meaning,
right. So I
sometimes
can
they don't
I can
show
agree.
up until after puberty.
Yeah, I can agree.
Also, Miss Lisa just joined up on the panel. I've had her on before. You had your hand up. Did you want to say something?
Wait, to be transgender, you don't have to have gender dysphoria, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Also, whoever called it gender dysmorphia, that's not the
Gender
correct term.
dysphoria, and not all
Yeah.
transgender individuals have gender dysphoria, and cisgender individuals can also develop gender dysphoria. Transgender
Yeah, like
just
me.
means that you
I have always been
okay.
very uncomfortable.
Can I respond
in
at
my,
all
hold on.
to this?
I've always been very uncomfortable in my femininity, and I'm a very masculine female. You can respond in 1 second. Miss Lisa, did you want to say something, or were you just chilling up on the panel?
Yeah, I actually disagree with that, but I can speak after him.
Okay. Sludge also wanted to say something, and then Big John, you can go.
So I just wanted to address the hypothetical that was brought up at the beginning of the conversation about aliens coming
If we
down.
go back to the hypothetical, then this is going to get lost.
No. I want to address that because it is what's the term? Straw man? No. It's a non-equivalent
false equivalent.
hypothetical. Yes, a false equivalency. So there's if there were to be a species of random life in the universe that could make it across the universe to us, why do you think that they would hold on to archaic concepts like gender?
That's irrelevant to the hypothetical.
Well, okay, let's just agree that the hypothetical was definitely out there, and it's not relevant to the conversation.
I think it still is relevant to the conversation, but I'm willing to move past that to go back to the whole big speech that's been given by like 4 people. The abstract that's written, it seems to be very clear that this would be an identifying marker for somebody who has dimorphism, which I'm reading directly from the abstract that you cited from. And then also you kind of brought up the fact that it's not identical. It has similarities, right? Of course, we're going to have similarities.
Dimorphism?
That's what it says.
Are you talking about intersex?
Brain sexual dimorphism, gender identity, genes, hormones, and sexual differentiation. So,
Yeah,
so
you
I didn't
realize
cut
that
you guys
not
off.
all
Can
of
I
that
speak
is
or
the
no?
same thing,
Well,
right?
hold on. Finish. Let's let him finish, and then we can all rebuttal.
Right. And so, and like now, even if I grant that this is like an identity marker for somebody that is a woman, like this, we could say, yep, this person has this identity marker as a woman. You guys have also stated that you do not have to have this identity marker to be a woman. So this brings us full circle to back to how are you categorizing it and how would we measure it?
Why does it what we understand our own gender identity based on gender development within utero. When we recognize our own gender, we correspond it to gender labels within our society. It may be different within a different religion, different geographic area, different cultures, because there are over 700 gender identities or gender labels throughout from the history till now. So they're just to say someone, has to dictate how they're a woman has nothing, you can't prove someone is or is not a woman, just like I can't prove you are not a man. I only can go based on what you're telling me verbally, because I can't do any test on you to say, yep, you're a man.
Sure.
Visually, I could say you're a man based on maybe how you express your gender to society, things like that might determine that you're a man. But to definitely say that you're a man 100%, I could not tell you 100% you're a man. I can go by what you tell me that, yes, I'm a man. Okay, you're a man.
Okay. So when someone says I am a woman, what if we were to take that word woman
It's
out?
an umbrella term. It's a
Sure.
umbrella
Yeah,
term.
like
Sure,
I
but
said,
hold on, guys.
woman-
Guys, I've been listening to you guys. I think I've been
You
fair
asked
in
the
that.
question.
Can you listen
I'm
to me?
answering
I
you.
hadn't finished my question. Right. So if we say, if somebody asks the question, what is a woman? And then we remove the word woman, what other things can we put in that place to understand the definition of what a woman is? For example,
put in what is a gender.
Still going. So for example, if I say I am a plumber, right? That's a societal term. That's a societal construct. But then I can give you a definition of like what a plumber does.
Actually, I'm gonna stop
Still,
you right there.
still.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop you right. I'm
Mhm.
gonna stop you right there, right? Because when you say
Mhm.
I am a plumber, you're speaking on someone who does a specific job in a
Right.
specific area and doing
That's my point.
specific things.
But
You're
not
saying what is a
every
woman?
So then what is a
Not
woman?
every woman.
Yeah. So okay.
Not
okay,
every
hold on.
woman has the same thing across the board.
Okay, so
Not
then if
every
it means
woman.
not, if it has
hold
no
on,
definition,
hold
then
on,
it means
hold
literally
on,
nothing.
Hold on. Oh my god. Guys, I'm trying to keep calm, okay? So if we look at the Cambridge, Oxford, or Webster dictionary, every single one gives a definition of a woman, and it has 3 definitions.
That's an
right?
appeal to authority fallacy.
Okay, it has 3 definitions. It's not an appeal to an authority fallacy. It's as we've grown as a society, we update definitions to be what we know to be scientifically factual. So,
Okay, so if it's
Why-
scientifically factual,
Well,
what's the
that is-
scientific method in determining it's a woman?
Or
Can you
how
stop
society
filibustering?
uses words.
can
It's-
you what? Hold on. What did you say, Sludge?
I'm asking John to stop filibustering.
Yeah,
Definitely
it's a-
wasn't
So
filibustering.
if we look underneath
Yeah, I get you.
underneath the definition of a woman in the Cambridge, Oxford, or Webster
Mhm.
dictionary, it says an adult human female, and then underneath it says someone who lives as a woman that does not align with their biological sex. It does
Okay.
not say that word for word. It says some bigger scientific words, but I'm not
Okay.
a college professor. I did not remember the exact 15 syllable words that were used. But if you care to look it up yourself, what I'm saying is what it means. It just uses some bigger scientific
Okay.
words.
So the second definition there, someone who lives as a woman, is circular, right? We're not actually getting the definition.
That's because gender is circular. So if you ask me what is a gender, you can't really define what a gender is because gender is a social construct, and defining a social construct is a very difficult thing.
We can
So,
define social
a
constructs
gender-
like plumbers.
No,
gender
I'm
labels
not-
are social constructs. Gender
Yeah,
Dynamite.
labels.
so
Yeah. So is a plumber. A
There's
plumber's a
no-
social
when we're-
construct too,
hold
but
on,
we can
hold on.
identify
When
it.
we're-
No.
Hold on. When we're defining what is a woman,
Hmm.
we're not asking what is a cis woman or what is a trans woman. We're defining a blanket term.
Sure.
Blanket terms are somewhat hard to define if we're not using circular definitions because we expect everybody to have the common sense to understand what it means, right? A woman can be a cis woman or a trans woman. They're both underneath the woman umbrella. Sludge.
So what is that then?
What did you want to say?
It,
It's an
could be-
umbrella
it,
term.
could- it depends on how the woman perceives their own gender and how they choose to express that said gender.
Okay,
Sludge.
so
I'm
so
gonna-
for example, if I choose to like
Hold
be
on, Sludge.
Yeah, I'm going to turn this back around. How do you identify a man, John?
I would use things like chromosomes and gametes.
That's how you define a male, not a man, because a male is biological, and you
No,
cannot.
you guys
define-
asked me how I would define it.
No, you cannot. I'm just telling you this now, and to all your viewers, I really hope that they can become educated a little bit from this panel.
I'm trying to get
man
educated.
Is a man is a gender term, so you
Mhm.
cannot define a gender term with biology unless you're talking about trans people with their biological mind process. You can define a male.
So
a
up
si-
until
a biological.
yeah.
No, I'm telling you right now.
No,
you
but I'm
cannot
just saying
define a man with
up until the
biology.
1970s, right? Gender and sex identification were synonymous.
I'm also.
It was only until the
I'm also
1970s
saying
that this
we've
became
grown-
like a
hold
new
on.
idea.
Not.
Yeah.
It
We've
was
grown
not.
as a society.
Okay.
And
So-
we've updated
so then-
definitions.
okay, so-
and we've had newer technology. We
Uh-huh.
can do brain scans now. We
Uh-huh.
have different things. That
But you
we're
already said
available
that
to do
wasn't
now
an
that we couldn't
identifying
do in
marker.
the 1970s.
You
So
said the
bringing
brain
up
scan's
the
not an
past,
identifying
when we're
marker.
talking
It
about
was
our
actually
present
the
day.
1940s when science discovered that gender and sex were two different things, not the 70s. It was
Okay, so
the
you guys
Yeah,
are kind of
also,
steamrolling me and not letting me speak.
Sludge actually was cut off though.
Can I say something?
After Sludge.
I haven't spoken at all.
Yeah, give me just 1 second, bot. Give me just 1 second, bot. So, I'm terribly sorry, but gender is a concept way older than just the 70s. It dates even further back than Greece and Rome. We can look even just to the indigenous peoples of North America and really the indigenous peoples of every nation. There's always been a form of two-spirit individual, which transcends.
Do you have any
the idea
citations of that?
gender. Yes. Give me a moment. I can tell you're sitting in front of a computer. Why don't you just type it in?
You're making the claim you have the burden.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You're the one
So
asking.
me a
I
moment,
can
I'm not in
grant.
front of my
See, the
computer.
thing is, I could still grant that argument that it goes back to the beginning of time. That doesn't necessarily mean it's right, because the argument you guys make is that we have progression, right? So even if I grant that it goes back to the beginning of time, that we had many ideas towards gender, I still remain unanswered on what are the identifying qualities
Well,
of a man or
can
a
I
woman.
ask you if you're a
isn't-
religious person?
There is not one identifying quality between
Hold on.
every woman.
Big John.
John,
Yes,
are you? Hold on. I want to
You guys-
ask if you're religious.
I am.
Are you Christian?
Yes.
We'll circle back onto that. I'm actually going to get Lucifer up on the panel, and I would love Lucifer to talk to you about that. But going back, Mr. Sage, what were you going to say?
The thing is, not every woman has the same experience in their own womanhood. Not every woman has the ability to give birth. Not every woman has has a menstruation. Not every woman has a vagina. Not every woman has a uterus. Not every woman has XX chromosomes. So there's not one definitive thing that makes a woman at all.
So then it's arbitrary and ad hoc and actually has no meaning.
Gender labels are just that, labels.
But I'm saying it literally means nothing.
Basically, yeah. In all
Okay.
I
layman's terms,
actually
yes.
do. I do want to ask. So your beliefs derive from a Christian identity, correct?
Yes and no. Like, I am a Christian, but I have beliefs that aren't entirely encapsulated within Christianity.
Okay. Does this particular belief derive from a Christian identity?
No.
Because I'm a recovering Christian. I've read the Bible cover to cover multiple times.
No, see, I became a Christian. I became a Christian when I was 30. I'm 34. I've always believed there was two genders.
I became a Christian when I was I was like 13. I stopped being a Christian when I was 18. I no longer a Christian.
Okay. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying this worldview is
I-
irrelevant to my
that's my point.
Christianity.
Can I finish my point?
How is it irrelevant?
Because
Yeah, you
I
can
held this
Yeah,
worldview
let's let
before I
Sage
was a
finish.
Christian.
Okay,
Let's
let me
let,
finish my point.
Sage finish.
When I said that gender labels basically are just that, labels, because they are social constructs. The label itself is a social construct. So,
So I can make my cup a
Sludge
woman?
said, can I finish what I'm saying? Okay, you wanted us to let you finish. You let me finish. Like Sludge said, there have been many different gender identities and gender labels throughout society, far back to the beginning of time, pretty much. So up until now. So yes, gender labels are just that, labels.
Okay, so if I
But
label my
society-
cup a woman, is it a woman?
Hang on, let me finish. Let me finish. Based on the society or culture
Well,
or
actually,
religion
can I say something about that real quick? Just
Hang
so
on.
like what you just said, if you label your cup a woman, it's not a
Mhm.
woman because you're giving that label to somebody else. Your cup isn't self-labeling.
Well, I've
Okay, go
labeled
on,
my
Mr.
cup a
Freeland.
cup.
So, sex, when we talk about sex, that is female, male, or intersex female or intersex male. There are different components that make up what is a female and what is a male. But those components do not dictate someone's gender identity.
Okay,
The sexual
so-
characteristics do not dictate someone's gender identity. Chromosomes alone do not dictate someone's
So then what
Max.
does dictate someone's identity?
Genitalia does not dictate. Hang on, let me finish. Even genitalia does not.
I
dictate
understand.
someone's
I
sex.
understand your rhetorical goal. You're just kind of repeating yourself with different examples, right? So, what is the identifying markers then? So, for example, I
isn't
should
one.
if there is no identifying markers, then there's nothing
It's just
stopping
based
me.
on
If there's no
society.
identifying markers, then there's nothing stopping me from labeling my cup a woman.
Big John.
You
Gender
identify
labels,
yourself.
Go with the
gender labels
definitions.
are used societal towards human beings, not inanimated objects. Okay, it's a societal.
So that is an
labels
identifying
towards
marker. Then it
humans.
has to be a human.
Because we
How
can
do
say
you identify
not
yourself?
all females are women, right? Not all females are women, right?
No, I disagree with that. I think all females are women. Yes,
So a female dog is a woman.
it'd be a woman
A
dog.
female
Yeah,
frog is a woman.
it'd be a woman frog. Yeah.
No.
Female child.
No, it would not
A
because
What?
female
Wait, hold
child
on,
is
hold
a
on.
do not
woman.
have
Did he-
gender labels.
Did he just say that a female dog would be a woman
yes,
dog?
it's a woman
A
dog.
woman dog.
We use
Oh my God.
Wait, can I ask a
human
question?
gender labels on our pets because that's just what humans do. It's dumb.
Right, but I'm just saying
Actually,
if your
you know,
if your
I
category
have
of a
a male
woman
cat.
is
I do
literally
not
anything,
say-
I can
Hold on,
say
hold on,
is a
hold on,
boy
hold on,
cat.
hold on, one
John.
at a time, one at a time.
If
one
the
at a time.
category
I
of
have a
woman-
male cat.
One, wait,
John.
please.
I have a
please,
male
one at a
cat.
time.
I have a male cat. Do I say he's a boy cat? No, he's a male cat.
I say my cat's a boy cat.
Their
boy cat.
Their name
Can
is Dream. That's
Like
their name.
I literally say to my cat all the time. Like people say to the dogs all the time,
Because
"Who's
he
the
does-
bestest
We
boy?
do not-
Who's the bestest
Hold on,
boy?" They
hold
say
on.
that to the
Cat does
dog.
not
I
have a
want to
gender.
say I do.
I use they them with him with my
I do
cat with
quickly
my male
just
cat.
want. I do quickly just want to say hi to Alyssa. I didn't even realize we had another panelist. I don't know who brought them up.
Why'd you guys drop bot?
Hello.
Nobody dropped them. They disconnected on their own.
Oh,
I got a message.
oh, yeah,
saying
he had a
you
phone
guys
call, sorry, yeah.
disconnected. They can come back up.
Yeah.
Alyssa, can I just quickly get your age and pronouns? Sorry, I haven't introduced you yet.
Yeah, all good. 26, she, her.
Are you an ally or are you another opposition?
I am a ally. I fight for trans rights. I am very well versed in biology, neurobiology, psychology, sociology, and anthropology.
Okay.
I am
And yes,
With that
Bright
being said, I
Eyes.
am not a professional in any of those.
Yeah, no, me either. Bright Eyes, Miss Lisa was on my panel before, so I didn't introduce her. Would you like to be introduced, Miss Lisa?
Well, you already did earlier.
Yeah, I did. Last time that you were on my panel, but I don't know if Bright Eyes was here. But yeah, Miss Lisa's been here before, so I didn't ask for any introduction. Sludge, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I would really like to ask this one simple question. Would you call a human female a woman?
Would it call a human female a woman? Yes.
Hi.
A
I'm
human
back.
female child a woman?
Yeah. Well, I probably
I
wouldn't
got-
say that
sorry.
because of the category of age differentiation.
So what's the difference then?
Age.
Well, so that's actually what I was gonna say. So
I
my
wasn't
char-
asking you about. Hold on a minute.
Well, I've been
Wait,
so
so
good.
is
And
bot,
so-
bot, are you
Listen, you
is
guys,
bot an
you guys
ally
have all
or an
steamrolled me.
opposition?
You should
Question.
let Bot have a question. He
is
should be able to
bot
speak
an
a little
ally
bit.
or an opposition?
Opposition.
And then
I'm
Mariah.
asking Big John a question specifically.
I'm going to allow Bot to answer for me. He speaks for me.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
sure.
I just want to.
Okay.
I do
Bot.
quickly
Go ahead,
just want to say
host.
hi to Mariah. Just, are you an ally or an opposition?
Hi. I'm actually an ally and opposition.
Okay,
An
would you mind like
opposition.
just chilling for a
Me too,
second,
I am
and then we'll circle back to you in like a few minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a timer on Big John. Continue.
So what is the difference between a human female as a child and as an adult?
Are you
That
asking
would
me?
make that. Yeah, that's the question, because if you would
Yeah.
label anything that is female as a woman, what's the difference between a child and an adult?
Yeah, so that wouldn't be the categorization. So a woman is just going to be an adult human female. So it's going to be a derivative from a female. So when we're looking
What do
at
you
a
call
child,
a young?
we would
What do you
say,
call a young one.
yeah, we would say that's a girl, right?
So,
So
that's
there's
a
going to
gender
be-
marker.
So no. So when we're looking and we're like paying attention to, okay, first off, there's going to be the biological distinction. The biological is going to represent, okay, this is male and female.
Let's go,
That is
John.
going to be represented by the chromosomes and by the gametes. But then when we're actually qualifying, okay, the age distinction is where we're going to get the terms of, okay, a girl is going to be a young human female. A woman is going to be an adult human female. And the same is going to apply for a boy and for a man.
Okay, so those are 4 different pronouns. In which one would identify? Right?
So no, I don't think that those are just pronouns in which one would identify.
They are exactly pronouns.
No,
in
I can
which
say they're
one
pronouns, but
identifies.
it's not going to be just based off of how one identifies. There's going to be a
It is how one identifies.
yeah, but
You
there's
don't-
going to be
you
a
don't
derivative
identify with
from
your age.
Yeah, there's going to be a derivative from biological sex.
So there's two
Yes.
identity
Most
markers
people-
happening in women there.
Most
It's going to be
people don't
age
identify
and
off
gender.
of their sex.
TikTok friendly, smacks.
Sorry.
Smex, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, not
You're
all
good.
people
I love the TikTok
identify
trend.
off of their genetic makeup. Correct? Like you wouldn't identify with a tumor that you had on your skull or in your brain.
I would be able to say I have a tumor.
I'm not trying to catch you guys.
Yes,
What's with the
but you
number
would
above
not
my
be
head?
Your tumor.
Yeah.
Well, I
the
thought
timer.
that you and Sludge were going to do like a bit of a one-on-one thing, so I put a timer so that everybody could have
Oh.
a chance to speak.
I was just curious
I'm
what it was. I didn't know you could do that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you guys off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I put a timer. You can put a timer by clicking on somebody and then hitting countdown. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it.
So-
You know, you're good.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Oh,
my
that's what I
claim
was
is
saying.
going to be this: there are going to be necessary preconditions in order to qualify a thing,
And what would those be?
like what a thing is. So a categorization. So, for example, if I were to say there's a dog in front of me and there's a cat in front of me, there's going to be a distinction between what a dog is and what a cat is, right? So even if it were the case that dogs were able to talk and cats were able to talk, and the cat wants to say, okay, I identify as a dog. If it goes against that categorization of these necessary preconditions in order to qualify the category, then I just wouldn't.
So off of what you say.
No. I'm saying there's necessary preconditions.
Also, not trying to interrupt, but
According
if
to-
anybody has anything to say, put your hand up in the chat, and then I'll make sure you get a chance to speak.
Yeah. So, like for example, when we say there's necessary preconditions, how do you qualify a bird over a dog? How do you make the distinction?
I don't put that much time into sitting here for it.
Do you think
I
there
don't
is a
put so much
distinction?
time. I don't care if there's a distinction.
But
Well, I think you
scientists do
should,
have a
because
distinction.
Something exists, and that's fine. If it could talk to me, I'm sure it would tell me what it would rather be referred to. In the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy the fact that it exists and is beautiful. I'm not going to sit here and make its entire existence based upon my.
So
view
when a
of
bird
things
flies
or the
past
view
your
of things
window,
or-
do you point at it and just say that's beautiful?
Stop.
Or do you say it's a
Stop.
bird?
Do you Do you have a problem with just like letting people get to the end of a point? Because you keep saying that everybody talks over you, but I have not heard you once not interject yourself into the conversation.
I just did it now.
Sludge, by the way, when you're comfortable and you're done speaking, Alyssa and Mr. Sage both want to say things.
Yeah, go ahead.
And Bright Eyes. So Alyssa, and then Mr. Sage, and then Bright Eyes.
Awesome, thank you. So first off, we're talking about human conditions, not animal conditions, and typically a animal is not going to have a other animal's condition, as humans are not going to have a other animal's condition. So that bringing that kind of hypothetical up has no substance to it. There's no way to compare a human condition to an animal condition.
Okay.
It's
When
not
we're
about human or
humans-
animal conditions. It's about identity markers.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
again, you
what I'm
literally
representing-
tried to say that, what if a dog or a cat identified as the other species?
We never
Within
said that.
biology, we have necessary conditions, such as, can you name me one human without human DNA?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, so that'd
I
be
would say
identity
that-
marker.
Yeah,
Sorry, John, go
yeah,
ahead.
so I can't name a human without human DNA because to be a human, there's going to be an intrinsic property which would qualify a necessary precondition in order to call it human, is you have to have human DNA, right? So, for example,
Exactly.
now this is what's important, right? Do you think that humans are animals?
Of course,
Because-
we're mammals. We're part of the primate species, specifically Homo sapiens.
Okay. So the point you just made is irrelevant under that notion because you tried to make
No,
a
it
distinction
is.
between. Wait, one sec.
No,
Let
it-
me
it
make
is
my
very
point. Let me make my
relevant.
point. Let me make my point.
Stop.
Wait, no. Let me
I'm
make my
not-
point. You
you're-
cut me
you're
off.
going to straw man
Yeah,
me.
You cut me off.
hold
And you're
on,
going
hold
to
on,
not
hold on.
be.
Hold
You cut
on,
me off.
one at a time, please. Alyssa,
Okay. May I please finish my point because he cut me off.
I think first I think Alyssa said she, her, not he, him. Alyssa.
Yeah, so again, you're literally trying to say that just because we're all animals, we can have a other animal's condition. Can I get a
That's not what he said.
.edu.gov study that will show that a human will have a other animal's condition?
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is the way we are able to identify categories is based off of necessary preconditions. Now, if I
agree.
say, so if you say, hey, we are from the species, under your worldview, we are from the species Homo sapien, and that is a derivative that comes from like a primate, right? A primate is going to be an animal. So I could just change the hypothetical to be this. How do you tell the difference between a monkey and the difference between a giraffe, right? So one of those is going to be represented based off of like not only biological markers, not only DNA, but it's also going to be based off of necessary preconditions to qualify that category.
Yeah, I agree with that. Again, you're kind of going in circles now, and you're trying to make something out to be, or make my position out to be something that it's not.
No, I'm not. I haven't made
So-
any claims about your position. I've only asked a question.
So if we go back just to the
Yeah, so again,
start
we're
of the
talking
idea,
specifically about humans. So again, instead of talking about other animals, let's talk about humans and human conditions.
John, do you
But
mind? Do
you're-
you mind if I try to clear up what you're saying? I mean, it seems like you're talking a little bit past each other. So what John's basically stating is not the fact that it's like animal versus humans or the distinction between that. It's just basically the idea of categorizing. There are identity markers to things. So there are identity markers to giraffes. There are identity markers to humans. There are identity markers to cups. There's identity markers to my camera and my microphone, right? These all have identity markers.
Yeah, sure.
That's how we
Yep.
categorize things. So when we're talking about like what is a woman, what are the identity markers that we could recognize to say, yes, this is a woman?
Yeah, can I provide my own definition?
Yes?
In fact, I'll give you two.
Okay.
Okay, a adult human being whose gender identity aligns with the female sex, and then the second definition, a adult human female.
Okay, so are you making a biological claim there on the first definition?
Yes, both of them are going to have biological components.
Okay, so an adult human female that has feminine characteristics that aligns with the biology.
No, that's not why I said. A adult human being whose gender identity aligns with the female sex, and vice
Hey,
versa
just-
for men.
Okay,
Yeah,
so is it just
to
testimony?
say- hold on, John. I'm an adult human female.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said an adult human female that's feminine.
Mhm.
I'm an adult human female that doesn't wear makeup. I have a mullet. I wear jeans. I wear boots. I wear my
Yep.
dad's t-shirts. Like, I would say femininity has nothing to do with gender.
I agree.
I'm a woman, and
Yep, I agree.
I'm like the least feminine woman that you'll ever see. Except for the fact that I have pink hair. But
Yeah, so we're on board
I-
with that.
yeah, I'm not feminine, and I don't
So
think
then-
femininity or masculinity defines your gender.
So then what is your identity? Like, what do you identify as?
A woman.
Okay.
Yeah,
What are
I
your
would just say-
identity markers that make you a woman?
I just know I'm a woman.
So
Yeah,
just
I would
testimony.
just say the things you named are going to be they're going to be extrinsic attributes, right? So whenever we're referencing like aesthetic things, we're referencing things that are qualifying beauty, we're referencing things that are qualifying clothing, we're representing all of these different notions. Those are going to be extrinsic. But a necessary precondition in order to qualify what a category is, it has to be intrinsic. Just like we talked about, okay, you cannot be human if you do not have human DNA. There's a biological
Well, I mean-
foundation. Yeah,
To-
I'm just
to
going to say
sim-
that there's a
to simplify
there's a
it.
John
Go ahead,
had
John.
asked me.
yeah, there's a biological foundation in which we're deriving all of these other principles.
Like, have you ever heard the saying, just because I put feathers in my
Big
butt
John
doesn't
had
make
asked
me a duck?
What are my Big John?
Yeah.
Yeah, Big John. I'm lagging pretty badly, so if I'm talking over anybody right now, it's because I literally can't hear. Big John asked me what are my characteristics of defining myself as a woman, and it's just the fact that in my mind I know I'm a woman, and that's how I define myself as a woman.
So it's just testimony. That's your identifying marker as a woman, right?
In my brain, in my biological chemical process in my brain, I've never felt any other way. I've had struggles with my femininity, but I've always been a woman. I know that I'm a woman.
Right. So it's just testimony. So if I give testimony that I am a hippo, am I actually a hippo?
Hey, hang on,
Oh
Angel.
my
Can I
God.
take this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, y'all are dumb, straight up dumb. Okay, you're saying
And you're a silly goose.
the thing is with animals compared to gender,
Mhm.
animals, we as a society long ago came up with labels for their species, like a bird, a dog, a
Mhm.
cat, a giraffe, a hippo, whatever. Long ago, we came up with these labels for their species.
Yeah, the labels
Okay.
are just talking about a reference.
Can you shut the freak up? I'm tired of getting interrupted. Okay.
Just
The
clarifying.
thing is, with those labels that society long ago put on these animals, we can visually see what a hippo is. We can visually see what a giraffe is. We can visually see what a cat is.
Mhm.
With gender identity, you
Mhm.
cannot visibly see someone's gender identity 100%. The only way that you can possibly know someone's gender is, you're right, testimonial, and how they express said gender to the world. That's how we know someone's gender. Nothing more, nothing less, because we cannot see inside the brain where gender develops in utero until
Right.
postmortem.
Can
Until we
I
get the technology to see a living person's BNST area of the hypothalamus, and we can actually test it compared to cisgender individuals and transgender individuals.
I mean,
Until that technology is
I would just like to
developed,
bring up.
it is
Can I respond?
what you say you are. A
Okay, so-
trans woman is a woman based on her innate sense of self of who she is. I, as a trans man, am a man based on who I innately know what my gender is,
Can I respond now?
corresponding to a gender label that's
okay.
within my
Sorry,
society.
I'm back. I missed a lot.
Just
Okay,
to
can I
add
respond to
in,
that or
like,
no?
If we look at drag
Oh my God, it's just preaching.
Right. If we look at drag queens, you're on my panel. You can leave if you don't want to be here.
I'm just saying, you guys,
looking at
you're not
drag
interested in
queens-
conversation. You're interested in preaching.
Yeah. Okay. Looking at
We're
drag
going to be what
queens, there are
science states,
multiple.
not what
There are
you want it to be.
multiple. there are multiple drag queens
Mhm.
who are straight cis men.
Hmm.
When you look at a drag queen, you automatically assume that it's a gay man, when in all reality, that's not how it works. Like the Maddie something, I forget their last name, but they're straight. They're married to a cis woman. Like, we can't just look at someone's outside appearance.
It's
and
completely
assume that we know
irrelevant to
what's going
anything I
on
was
in their
saying. That's why I
brain.
keep trying to interject, but then you guys get mad because this is irrelevant to what I was originally saying. I've been trying to clarify.
Hi everyone.
Hey, Blue, what's up?
Not much. Is it okay if I introduce myself real quick?
Am I not allowed to respond or clarify? I just want to know, because if not, I'll take
It's
off.
okay. I think it's important if I introduce myself on the panel before you go.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Blue,
Blue.
you can introduce yourself.
Go ahead, Blue.
I'm 25. I just want to give my age.
Can I get your pronouns?
Yeah, he and his pronouns.
Okay, go on, Big John. Say what you have to say. And then
Oh, oh,
Alyssa,
oh.
is that a hand up?
Okay, so all that was
Yes.
completely irrelevant to what I was originally saying, because when I say about the hippo, we're talking about a reference. So the word hippo, right, is a word that we use to talk about a referent, which is a certain amount of identity markers. So if I say cup, I'm basically encapsulating the identity markers. So when we say women, what am I talking about when we talk about what are you guys talking about when we're talking about identity markers?
A gender label.
If you're saying strictly,
It's just a gender
if you're saying
literally
strictly,
gave
if you're
my
saying strictly,
definition.
if you're saying strictly that it can only be done by testimony alone, right?
Exactly.
Then if it's testimony alone, then there is nothing wrong with me identifying as a hippo.
Because you can't be another
Not a
species.
human condition.
Why not?
Hey, really quick,
And
just letting you know, John.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta go get my kids some food.
Go
Oh
ahead.
my
Alyssa.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Just
Okay,
how
I'll
you
be right
can't
back.
identify as a different race, you can't identify as another species.
Why not?
You can identify as a different gender because it's a human condition. It's a human issue. It's a societal human issue. I can't identify as a cat because I'm not a cat and it's not a part of my species. Okay,
Right.
Alyssa.
So you
go on.
have a mechanism that you're using to use for identification, and the mechanism is testimony. So
Hold on a second.
either
Is it
the
okay if I ask
testimony
a
is going to be
question to Big John
consistent or
later
it's
on?
not going to be consistent. One of the two.
Alyssa was speaking.
So is testimony the
Yo, I'm lagging.
is testimony
Hold
the
on,
only
I don't
mechanism
know-
they
I don't
use
know
for
if my audio is
identification?
coming
Big
through
John,
right now.
can you stop
Hold on,
interrupting?
hold
I would
on.
like to
I
address
don't know
your
if my
point.
audio is coming through because of how terribly I'm lagging right
It's
now.
coming through. I
But
can hear you.
I
everyone,
can hear you, Angel.
everyone
We can
talking
hear
over
you.
each other is making me lag like a lot. So if we could just try to talk, like, because I'm on an Android phone, like my phone is so butt. But if
Yeah,
we
I
could
can
just
hear
try
you,
to talk
Angel,
one
but
at a time.
Alyssa was next.
Okay, can we just please try to talk one at a time because it really does like affect it.
I
on
think I'm
my
going to take
end.
off, but I appreciate you guys' time. God bless.
Wait, don't run, please.
Don't
Please.
take off.
Wait.
I'm not
Mariah,
running. I am
please
unable
just
to
talk about
actually
my position.
convey points because
you
anytime
know
I make a
also
point, they
that.
go on this like 20-minute long
Hey,
speech
so,
and then get
listen,
mad when I
Angel,
try to
so
get
you said,
clarifying
are you an
questions on
ally
it.
or
So I'm moving on. Little John did a pretty good job, didn't he? Well, if you want to see him put more work in, he also helped me out in this video right here, where we discussed with a man on whether or not you can actually blame Satan for anything, or if God is just doing arbitrary punishments. It's an interesting combo. Go check it out. We'll see you over there. God bless.